Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So today is the first video in our Vlogmas series. So this is a series that I do every year on how to start organizing your life. Organizing your life is really going to help you if you are trying to achieve anything. Anything you're trying to achieve, you have to organize it. And so I like to do this series every single year, especially around the end of the year as we are getting prepared for a brand new year. Even though you could do this at any point in time, I feel like the month of December is the best time to start to plan for a brand new year. And so the very first step, the first thing that I like to do whenever I am getting ready for a new year is to organize my life categories. When you are identifying and organizing your life categories, you are thinking about the areas of your life that you are responsible for and matter most to you. And identifying these areas really will help you to be more intentional with what you are trying to achieve in those specific areas. So this is the place where I always like to start. And so I do have some colorful boxes and some stickers here because I am going to write all of my areas down. Now you can write these down in just a plain notebook. I am using my Tom 90 planner, which is the one book that I use to organize my life. This is the notes section of my planner, and we are going to write down the areas that I am planning on organizing for 2026. So for 2026, I will have 7 life categories. In the past, I have had 10 or 12 categories, but every single year, I try and see how I can condense some of them and combine some of them, because I realize that the less main categories I have, the more successful I am in organizing them. So this year we are going with 7 different categories, and the very first one is my spiritual life. So my spiritual life and how much I am able to do my Bible studies really do help me with every other area of my life, because I realize that I have way more peace when my spiritual life is organized. So this area will include my Bible studies, sermons, devotionals, scriptures, character studies, any topics that I might be looking at when I am doing my soap sheets, my prayers, research, and any life application studies that I am currently doing. All of that will be included in my spiritual life, but this is the very first area that I know I need to stay on top of and organize. My second category is my personal category. Now, this is a category where I have combined a couple of other things underneath this section. So it will include my self-care, my health, my workouts, my mental well-being, beauty, personal development, reading, and learning. And what I've realized is all of these are kind of under this section. And when I combine them all, I am just thinking about my overall well-being instead of separating my health and my personal development. I realized that I could combine these. And when I organize this area, I'm going to be thinking about all of these things that are included underneath this area. I think it may help me to stay on top of it a little bit more. My next category is my family category, and this actually includes all of my relationships. So it will include family, friends, my social life, my marriage, any travel that I might decide to do, entertainment, anything that I am doing to connect with other people will fall under this category. So many times when I am planning things for family, I usually am thinking of my family, my friends, and marriage things kind of all together. So I felt like it would be best for me to put them all under one category, because usually my mind is thinking about all 3 kind of at the same time. So this category will really encompass it all. And when I am trying to organize this category, I'm going to organize all of these areas at the same time. We're going to dive a little bit deeper into what that means in this series. So if you're a little confused about what I mean about organizing all of these together, then I am going to share with you in a future video exactly how I do this process. So don't worry. The next category is my home category, and my home category includes all of my spaces. So this is my car, my office, my studio, and my home. And under this category, I like to organize my cleaning, my projects, any home organization I would like to do, and any decluttering. All of that falls under my home category. So when I am trying to think about each one of these spaces and the different things I want to do under them, it will all be organized organized here. The next category is work, and this is where I am doing all of the things that I need to do for the organized money. So reviewing products, working on projects, social media, membership, launches, the admin side and customer service side of what I do, and shipping products. All of that falls under this category. Then we have money, which is budgeting, saving, debt reduction, investing, and increasing income. And usually I will set goals under each one of those categories, and I'm going to share with you exactly how I do that later on in the series as well. And my last category, which might not apply to everyone, but you may have something similar, mine is church. And my church one is where I will plan out everything that we need to do for church, which is outreaches, building projects, events, preaching calendars, admin. If you didn't know, I also work for my church. Me and my husband are pastors. He is the lead pastor of our church here in New Orleans, and so I do help him out a lot with the different things that we have to do for our ministry. So I do have to organize all of the different things that we are doing at church. Now, this category for you might be a hobby. It could be community service. This might be something else that you kind of have on your plate, or something else that you want to do, like school. But this is any other additional category that you might have in your life that you need to organize. So these are my 7 categories. How do I decide that these are the main 7 categories that I need? The first thing that you want to think about to see if an area should be a dedicated category is how much stress does not having that area organized cause you? So if any one of these areas are not organized, I realize that I have an increased level of anxiety and stress, and I don't feel as much peace. I feel a little bit anxious because one of these areas are not organized. And that is a strong indication to me that it is a dedicated category, that it is an area of my life that I need to stay on top of. Whenever I feel sluggish, then I know that I am not staying on top of my health, which could be my personal category. Whenever I am not connecting a lot with my family and friends, I could feel a little bit down, and then that means I need to pay attention to my family category. But whenever one of these areas is out of whack, I definitely feel it within my stress level, within my body, and so I come back to this list and I ask myself, what is off? And that is your first indication to know that a category is extremely important to you, it matters to you, and you need to organize it. The second thing that developing these categories will help you with is to see how many routines you actually need within your life. Sometimes I feel like we set routines kind of willy-nilly, and we don't think about what routines actually matter to us. And so we'll have a morning routine of 12 different things, and maybe only 3 really matter to you. Having these life categories really help me to see what routines I really need within my system. I know I need cleaning within my system. I know I need certain things around my work or around my money in order to have more peace within my life. I know that I have to do some type of Bible study or faith planning in order to have more peace around my life. And so having these categories listed out here really do help me with the routines that I need to create later on. And creating these categories will also help you to see what areas have possibly been neglected. Once I write all of these areas down, I can see when I am not working out as much as I am supposed to, or I am not doing my Bible study as often as I need to. If something feels off, then usually I can come back to this list and see, what have I been neglecting? What have I not been doing? What routine is not been consistent? And then I can adjust and make sure that I am adding it back into my system to make sure that I feel organized and I have more peace. So this is why this is the first step in your process. You need to identify what is important to you before you actually organize it. So these are the categories that I am going to be using for 2026. And like I said, I have combined some of these categories because last year, I believe I had 10 categories, and I realized that a lot of them weren't as important to me as I thought they were. As I was going throughout the year, certain categories that I felt like I could combine, or if I did a smaller routine around that particular category, it was good enough. So spend some time today thinking about your categories, writing them all down, and then tomorrow tomorrow's video, we are going to dive into how to start to organize these categories. So once you start to identify yours, I would love to hear from you. So make sure that you leave me a comment and let me know. And make sure that you subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss any videos that are in this series. This is our very first video in how to start organizing your life. And we will have 24 more videos on how to start getting organized. So I'm really excited to dive into it. This is my favorite series to do every single year. And I hope that it helps you out so much on your journey. And I will see you all in tomorrow's video. Until then, keep organizing your life so that you can achieve your dreams. Bye, guys.